best movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I am your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. And as you can see, it's time to go back to the theater. And ladies and gentlemen, just when you thought it was safe to go back to the movies, there's yet another January horror film to release. But will this one be as bad as the last few that I've done? Or maybe it'll surprise us, who knows? It's a new take on a classic fairy tale. They switched the names and a few other things. My review of the 2020 horror film, Gretel and Hansel, coming up now. Set in a distant fairy tale countryside, sister and brother Gretel and Hansel find themselves in the dark woods searching for food. They stumble upon a weird house they can smell cake coming out of. They soon find that the house belongs to an old woman who invites the siblings in for a big meal. Gretel and Hansel tell the woman that they can do some work around the cottage as payment for their food and the room that she's made up for them. During their stay, the two discover that there's many things the woman is hiding, and she's actually a witch. So what did I think of Gretel and Hansel? I thought it's a terrible dark fantasy horror movie. One thing I will give the film is that it sets up a spooky and creepy atmosphere. It's got a very artsy look to it and definitely has an indie feel, taking place mostly in or around the witch's house. I give it credit because it felt like an effort was being made, but it sometimes felt very pretentious and was a great example of style over substance. There are some very jarring cuts throughout as scenes will abruptly end, but then another moment there will be a long drawn-out scene that feels like it should have been cut off. It also isn't immune to giving us some of those great old horror movie cliches, including a few jump scares that fail, lame voices being heard through the woods, and of course, my least favorite thing in the genre, at least 3 fake-out dream sequences where the character doesn't know if what she dreamt was real or a nightmare. Oh joy! There's also a number of awkward and unintentionally funny moments. The story doesn't have much going on either. It feels like 10 minutes of material stretched out to a full-length feature time that takes a while to get to its point, and once that point comes, it's nothing worthwhile. There's also a couple of elements that randomly come into play and feel out of place that are never explained or don't ever get mentioned again. By the title, you can tell Gretel will get more things to do in this story, as the witch tries to make her an apprentice, which I was okay with because Hansel easily got on my nerves. Also, I could barely understand what the witch was saying most of the time with the accent and low voice being used, which made all of the boring conversations a blast. Even though it clocks in at an hour and 27 minutes, it drags and moves along at the pace of a snail, making it feel like an experience that was twice as long. The cast stars Sophia Lillis as Gretel, the teenage girl who's skeptical of their newfound friend in the woods, Sam Leakey as Hansel, Gretel's younger brother, whose biggest priority is his stomach, and Alice Kriege as Hulda, the witch who kidnaps Hansel and Gretel and has some horrifying plans for them. Gretel and Hansel tries to give the fairy tale a fresh, weird spin, but for me, it was a swing and a big miss. Gretel and Hansel, you know what rating you're gonna get? I only got 2 words for ya. Suck it. Alright, well that's the show. I'll be back with another review very soon. But until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. YouTube.com/Westside515. Like the show on Facebook, Facebook.com/WestTroopAlist. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram @WesAlist. Until next time, Troop out.